Full or mid-sized truck? That is the question often asked by buyers. In this video, we're going to break down the specs of the 2021 Ford F-150 and the Ford Ranger and find out which one gives you the best bang for your dollar. The answers might actually surprise you. Now, I'm going to throw down a whole lot of math here. I'm talking percentages, I'm talking ratios, cost per pound, totally nerdy stuff. And I'm using the 4x4 XLT trim with the Super Crew and the short bed for both the F-150 and the Ranger. No options except for each truck's trailer tow package. My total price for the F-150 here is $48,295, including destination and fees. The Ranger comes in at $36,970, including destination and fees. First, let's look at the size. The F-150 is obviously bigger all the way around, but by how much? When compared to the Ranger, the wheelbase is 18.6 inches longer, or about 14.6%, and overall the F-150 is 21.1 inches longer, or 10% longer. The F-150 is also wider, 6.6 inches, or 9% wider. All that translates into more room inside, at least for the rear passengers. The front is actually pretty close here, with the F-150 having just 1 more inch of headroom, or about 2.5% more than the Ranger, and 0.8 inch more legroom, or about 1.9%. But if you have tall friends, that's where you're going to want the F-150. It has 2.1 more inches of headroom, or 5.5% more, and a whopping 9.1 more inches of legroom. That's 26.4% more rear legroom in the F-150. Now, if you want to look at total overall passenger space, the F-150 Super Crew has 131.9 cubic feet of space inside, making it 34.3 cubic feet larger, or 35.1% bigger inside overall than the Ranger. At 5.5 feet, the F-150's bed is a half a foot longer than the Ranger's. You can shove 52.8 cubic feet of stuff in the bed compared to 43.3 cubes in the Ranger, making the F-150's bed almost 22% larger. Now let's dig into power. The standard engine with the XLT F-150 is the 3.3-liter V6, pushing out 290 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque, and that power has got to push around 4,705 pounds of truck. Meanwhile, the Ranger gets a 2.3-liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder engine with 270 horses and 310 pound-feet of twist, motivating its 4,441 pound curb weight. In the F-150, 1 horsepower has to push 16.2 pounds of truck, and the total price per horsepower is $166.53. For the Ranger, things are a little bit more economical, though not quite as powerful. 1 horsepower has to move 16.4 pounds of truck at a cost of $136.93 per horsepower. If you want to talk torque, in the F-150, 1 pound-foot is responsible for 17.8 pounds of truck, and you'll pay $182.25 for each of those 260 pound-feet. Looking at the Ranger, each pound-foot of torque has to move 14.3 pounds of truck at a cost of $119.26 per. Of course, you can upgrade the engine of the F-150, but just looking at standard power plant versus standard power plant, the Ranger is a much better buy. And what of all the truck stuff? I'm talking towing, payload, and off-road capability. The F-150 has a larger 5.5-foot bed that can haul 1,765 pounds of payload. That's 205 more pounds, or 13.1% more than the Ranger. Total price breakdown, you're paying $27.36 per pound of payload in the F-150. With 1,560 pounds of payload capacity, you'll pay $23.70 per pound of payload in the Ranger. But here's what's interesting. When you look at the $11,325 cost difference between the F-150 and the Ranger, you're paying $55.24 for each additional pound of payload in the F-150. The F-150 can also tow more, 8,200 pounds compared to 7,500 pounds. That means it can tow 9.3% more, and it brings the total cost per towing pound to $5.89. Meanwhile, the total cost of towing in the Ranger is $4.93 per pound. Again, if you look at that price difference, that works out to $16.18 that you'll pay in the F-150 for each additional pound of towing over the Ranger. Now, of course, you can option up an F-150 to tow 14,000 pounds and carry over 3,000 pounds in the bed, but again, I wanted to compare trim lines to trim lines here. As for all the off-road stuff, the Ranger has the advantage here. It has 4.4 more degrees of approach angle, or 18.1% more. Breakover angle is better by 1.5 degrees, or 7.5% more. And yes, this is negligible, but it still counts. Departure is 0.1 degree better in the Ranger, or 0.4% more. Nope, not a lot, but sometimes it's that tiny little extra bit that's the difference between being stuck or on your way back to camp for some post-trail run margaritas. Ground clearance, however, goes to the F-150. It's higher than the Ranger by 1/2 inch, or 5.6%. In the end, though, it really all comes down to what you actually need in a truck. I mean, me personally, my race trailer is right on the cusp of weight with the Ranger. It might struggle a bit, but I'd probably put up with a bit of slow going in order to save about $11,000. Those that need to tow more on a regular basis will want to move up to the F-150. However, if you're just looking at price per pound or price per horsepower, it's surprising how the Ranger is actually the better buy. So, do you dig on this kind of data-driven video? Let me know in the comments, and if you're a Ford guy or gal, we've got a video of the Bronco Sport coming soon, so be sure to like and subscribe.